Let's dive into Morgan Housel's book, The Art of Spending Money. Now, this isn't your typical guide on budgeting or how to find the best deals. Not at all. It's about the deep, sometimes kind of weird psychology behind why we spend our money in the first place. Right off the bat, we get hit with this wild idea from way back in 1759. The philosopher Adam Smith pretty much nailed it centuries ago. Our obsession with stuff isn't always about the stuff itself. It's about what we hope that stuff says about us to other people. And that's the real gut check question this book asks. I mean, think about it. When you're dreaming of that brand new car or a bigger house, are you actually picturing yourself enjoying the thing? Or are you picturing the look on other people's faces when they see you have it? So this all leads us to the book's big idea. The real price of things has less to do with dollars and cents and more to do with our own psychology. Yeah, forget the budget spreadsheets for just a minute. The book argues that our biggest, most important financial decisions, they aren't driven by cold, hard logic. They're driven by these messy human feelings, envy, insecurity, the desire to keep up, to feel like we belong. So when you boil it all down, we're all at this fork in the road. Are you using your money as a tool to build a life that is genuinely better for you? Or are you using it as a yardstick, constantly looking over your shoulder to see how you measure up against everyone else? It's a tough question, because a lot of us say we want the first, but we live like we're chasing the second. And that choice, well, that brings us to the first huge takeaway from the book, which totally reframes what success looks like. It all comes down to a simple question. Are you rich or are you wealthy? And trust me, they are not the same thing. Okay, so here's how the book breaks it down. Being rich is visible. It's the fancy car, the designer clothes, the huge house. You can see it, you can touch it. But being wealthy, that's invisible. It's the money you haven't spent. It's the assets in the bank that are buying you something way more valuable than stuff. Control over your own time, real freedom. And think about the flip side of that. When you have to keep that high-stress job to pay for the house and the car, when your lifestyle dictates every choice you make, you're not free. The book argues you're actually in a kind of hidden debt to your own possessions. Because at the end of the day, what's the ultimate goal of money? The book says its highest purpose is independence. It's the ability to wake up in the morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. That feeling, right there, that's true wealth. All right, our second big takeaway moves from our bank accounts and into our brains. This one is all about mastering your expectations. Why? Because that endless chase for more is a game you are biologically hardwired to lose. The book boils happiness down to this incredibly simple formula. It's just the gap between your expectations and your reality. Think about it. Someone who has millions but always wants more can feel way poorer than someone with very little who's perfectly content with what they have. So let's challenge an idea here. You tell yourself you want a bigger house, a faster car, the latest phone. But what if your brain doesn't actually care about any of that stuff? Nope, it just wants one thing, a hit of a little chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is literally the molecule of more. It's the chemical of desire, of anticipation. It's not about having the thing, it's about the thrill of getting the thing. You know that feeling when you're tracking a package online and you see out for delivery? That excitement is often more powerful than when you actually open the box. That's dopamine. And as soon as you have the thing, it fades and starts looking for the next hit. Okay, so if true wealth is freedom and happiness is about managing our expectations, how in the world do we actually make big decisions with our money? Well, that brings us to our final and maybe most useful takeaway, a framework for minimizing future regret. We always frame it this way, don't we? It's this all or nothing choice. Should I go on that big trip now, or should I be responsible and save every penny for retirement? It feels like you have to pick one. But the book suggests that's completely the wrong question. A much, much better question to ask yourself is this: what will I regret the least? This simple shift changes everything, because it makes the decision about you and your life, not some generic rule. And there's a really simple way to do this. Just imagine yourself at 80 years old. You're sitting in a rocking chair, looking back on your life. And from that perspective, you look at the decision you have to make today. Ask that 80-year-old version of you, will I regret not taking this trip? Will I regret not saving a little more for peace of mind? The answer usually becomes crystal clear. So let's pull all these threads together now.
If wealth is freedom and happiness is about contentment, and our best decisions come from minimizing regret, then the art of spending money is really the art of deciding what actually truly matters to you.
And this leads to maybe the most powerful idea in the whole book: the difference between resume virtues and eulogy virtues. We spend so much of our lives chasing resume virtues, right? The job title, the net worth, the list of possessions. But at the end of your life, nobody talks about that stuff. They talk about your eulogy virtues: how you treated people, how kind you were, how much you were loved. And you know who drives this point home? Warren Buffett, a guy who could literally buy anything he wants. And he says the ultimate measure of a successful life is how many of the people you want to love you actually do. When you think about it, that's an incredible lesson in what truly has value. So that's the heart of the art of spending money. It's not a manual for budgeting. It's a mirror. It challenges you to look past the price tags and ask yourself a much bigger, much more important question. What kind of life will you choose to build with the money you have?